Oh, is Ted here? I want to meet Ted. I never met Ted yet. Is he out there? I heard George Canalonis met him. Anyway, here I am again. My granddaughter's doing a talk again. Have to come and introduce her all the time. Oh. She's going to be talking today about Indigenous Interdisciplinary Art, a way to inspire conversations about community. Oh, hello, everybody. I'm supposed to stand over here. I'm sorry. I'm her great aunt, Esther. Hello. Oh, you can hear. Anyway, she does lots of things, and she wants you guys to understand why. Why is she so weird? But we love her anyway, because she is kind of strange in our family, but every family has one of them. Anyway, I'll bring her out, okay. Hi, I'm Allison Warden. I'm so honored to be part of TEDx today. What is interdisciplinary? That's a big word. I've been calling myself an interdisciplinary artist. And to me, it means using all of the mediums that you have at your disposal as an artist. It's not just visual art or sculpture or performance or storytelling. It's using every single thing, every single element you can think of. On a performance that you're seeing here, I was in MTS Gallery, and I even used smell of cooking pulla bear. So I used smell, and I took over the entire space, and I coordinated over 25 community members to take part of this performance. So the topic of my talk today is about Indigenous performance art, interdisciplinary art, using it to inspire conversations within a community. You can see in this performance here, there's a fish and game guy. He was so scary. I can't believe he showed up. It was a collaboration. It was a visual piece done by Gretchen Sagan and coordinated, and then a written component coordinated by Joan Kane, and I did the performance art part. And there's my cousin. He was a dead caribou. Nobody wanted to be the deceased caribou, but he was happy he was the deceased one in the end, because you can see in this space, I know they're going by, really fast. Anyway, what I did is took over entire space around a theme, a question, something that was happening in our community. At the time of the performance, does anyone remember when the Point Hope caribou, those 9 men were arrested for shooting those caribou? So that was a big deal. I have family and friends in Point Hope, and so the art that I create and hope to inspire others to create today is to reflect an issue that's going on in our communities and ask questions about that issue, to gather people to talk about that issue, and gather them in a way that they feel safe, and that they feel embraced, and that they don't feel trapped. So that's why I like performance art, installation art, because you can walk around, you can always have a place to go. And so that through the course of the performance, that they don't even know when it started. Did it already start? Then hopefully they start to engage in themselves directly. So interdisciplinary, why use all the mediums? Because we have all of them at our disposal. So might as well use everything we have. Every single thing we have as an artist that's what I hope to do, and create a space so that people are being stimulated from all different angles: smell, sound, video, sculpture, random people. I always plant audience members in the audience. I did a show about Native people getting ready for their tourist season, and I got non-Native friends to be really belligerent in the audience. And they upset a lot of people. And I can't believe those people over there, they're so loud. And they were purposely being loud. So it forces somehow the audience to react by having all these different elements. Why is it important to create a safe space? If you're going to look, I see art as a way to heal the community, to have a community healing moment. So in the case of subsistence, there was a pain there because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these fish and game guys showed up and we were being regulated on our land. This is one perspective, and I tried to show a balanced perspective because the fish and game guy was there. I mean, he was an actor. But all of a sudden, we have a sore spot in our community. Maybe it's a suicide. Maybe something happened. Maybe it's domestic violence. There's something that is hard to look at, something that is hard to talk about, but it's there. So how do we talk about something that's hard to talk about? So you create a safe space, and you call it art. You say, hey, we're going to have this show, and make it interesting. So in this case, I'm showing pictures of my home. I create community-based art because I come from a community, I'm connected to a community, and Alaska Native people are connected to our communities really strongly. So it's a natural extension. Like I was on a whaling crew for a long time. It's a natural extension. When I make the performance art, I pretend I'm a whaling captain's wife, and I organize everybody, and in my head I'm on a crew, and everybody pulls together and we make it happen together. That way people have ownership and they feel empowered through the performance themselves. Anyway, a safe space is good to create so that they feel like they can unravel a bit and start to think. It takes them out of their normal mode of going to work and doing whatever they do every day. Why is art important for a community? Well, you know, being Native, it is a really weird thing to be an artist full-time. Because we're not about, it's hard to take the spotlight and be in the forefront and be the rapper or be the artist performing, because that's not how we are raised. Yet, the reason that I do that and why I do it is for the community. As long as your intentions are not about yourself and it's about inspiring the young people or inspiring your peers to do more or to work more, then to me, it's okay to be put in that spot. Because our elders and so forth, they've always gone to those public spots and so forth. These are some people in my home community of Kaktovik. Speaking of performers in my community, these are like 80-year-old elders in those. So when I create a safe space, then I provoke them in different ways. By smell, I plant things, I have surprise happenings, and only one part of the group knows that a surprise is going to happen. In that one show, I had a whole group of caribou, and they had a caribou dance, and they had their own Arctic National Wildlife Refuge to hang out in. And so they had their own thing that they had to do, but it just makes people think of the issue. And everybody who came into that space had a hunting badge on them. So they had to be defined by if they were Native or non-Native and what their hunting rights were. And on the floor was all the different designations of the land. Every single state land, federal land, tribal land. I looked on the website for the land in Alaska, and there's a lot of different kinds of land. And so on the floor it was taped, so that's another way. I had a kitchen, a modern side and a traditional side, and my friends felt comfortable to be in the kitchen. So it was like a home, a virtual home on stage. And I had hunters, and they chased the caribou, and they killed the caribou, and we reenacted the Fish and Game showing up that scene in Point Hope. And as we reenacted with my deceased caribou cousin on the floor, really good staying still for a long time, I started to ask the audience questions. Do you eat this caribou? Is this what you do in your community? And by allowing people to take part and feeling comfortable that they have some ownership, then we started to have a real dialogue, and the performance became something more than what it was intended to become. It started to move energy so that we were feeling, strongly, we were starting to feel something about this issue, and we were really provoked. And we felt the love of each other and a stronger community connection to each other in that space. It was very interesting. And I had signs up by the food. We had a food table because they always have food. And I said, this food is out of season. Do not eat this food. And then other signs, so you are not, this food is out of season. If you eat this food, it will be $10,000 fine. To kind of recreate or to stimulate some of those feelings that we have about our own land and our own food. So that's just one example of how I like to let non-Native people too think about, I never thought about it that way, in an artistic way. Sometimes when you go to an art show, it feels safe, so you feel like you're being arty, and all of a sudden, your mind might be changed or more open about something. More community pictures of my people. I only have 5 minutes left. So I'm going to, let me make sure I never forgot anything. Yep, I think I have all those things. Yep. In the end, it becomes a transformational way for the community. It's a way to transform the community and embolden them and to give them a feeling, a community feeling, because that's what we miss when we're away from our villages. Okay. So now, I'm going to say all that in a rap. For the young people out there, I have to translate. Because they don't understand me sometimes. Okay. I forgot my hat.
What am I saying to you? I want to inspire natives in the audience to do the kind of things that I've been working and striving, cause I know that our communities are thriving, but we have issues that we want to look at, see, and it's hard to look at them as a community. Why do we want to open up whole wounds that won't heal? Why do we not just give up? Because we know that our ancestors always showed us the way to go through, the way to go forward and to heal too. Why wouldn't we use this artistic mediums? Why wouldn't we choose this newfangled 2011 way? Hey, why wouldn't we do it? Our ancestors would do it way back in the day. Yes, they would be just like me. Hey, oh wait, I am them and they are me. I'm representing my native community. And I say to the non-natives out there, see, we gotta do everything we do, see, to survive and to thrive, cause it's coming from all sides. I mean, how are we gonna go? How are we gonna show? How will you know about our pain, about our struggles too, if we don't open up and share with you? To all the young people out there, the young Native people, this is why I'm here. I really, really care about you, and I hope that I inspire you to do what I do. This is all about community. It's never, and it will never be about me. It's about going forth, seeing where the darkness is and going with the light torch. Cause I'm AKU-MATU. This is my ancestors, this is what I do. Why not use intellectual art to prove a point? Yes, it's a start. We gotta go through in every single way. Why not use the tools? That's what I say. Anyway, in every way, interdisciplinary. That might sound a little bit scary, but it's the way the intellectual community understands me when I feel full. So I go forward and I create, and I hope, and I hope, and I hope, and I pray that I represent my people. See, there's my sister, she loves me, and I love her, cause we always stand by each other's side. It's all about the community. See my eyes, how do we heal old hurts that won't go away? We come together with food, and we love each other. We never are rude. How do we hurt old hurts that won't go away? How do we choose to heal? We always go forward. We always steal. Using art in a non-traditional way. Everything, every single tool, of course we'll use it. That's what we've always done and do. I got 55 seconds to say that it's been so cool. I wish I could have met Ted. Where'd he go? Who? I hope you remember. I hope you feel the love. If you're Indigenous out there, I hope you start to do everything. I hope you care. Oops. Super technology. Oh, it's okay. You could have the music. I only have 16 seconds. Once again, Indigenous Interdisciplinary Art, a way to inspire conversations with community. Basically, using everything that is possible out there. As an artist, all those words, all those tools, all those modalities to affect change in our people in a loving way. Thank you.